As you drift into the quiet of the night, release every thought that has burdened your mind. The day is done, and now the night becomes your sacred chamber, where the seeds of abundance are sown in the rich soil of your soul. You are not merely hoping for prosperity. You are aligning with the divine law that already holds it for you. Wealth is not something to chase. It is something you allow, something you invite into the garden of your life by thought, by feeling, by unwavering faith. The universe responds to the picture you hold in your heart. Let it be a picture of plenty overflowing, radiant, and secure. See yourself living with ease, paying every bill with joy, giving generously without fear, and walking in the assurance that supply is endless. In this deep rest, the mind becomes soft clay, ready to be impressed with the form of your desires. And as you sleep, the silent forces of life go to work, arranging, guiding, opening unseen doors. What you believe in this moment is what the dawn will carry to you. Tonight, you rest not in uncertainty, but in certainty. You are one with the source of all riches. The gold of the earth, the treasures of the seas, the boundless ideas of the mind, all are drawn to you as iron to the magnet. As you breathe deeply, let each breath carry the truth deeper into your being. I am abundance, I am open. I am supplied, I am free. You need not wonder how. It is already done in the unseen. You simply sleep, trust, and awaken to a world that mirrors your inner wealth. Rest now. The law is working, the supply is sure, and your cup is already running over. When the day draws to a close, it is not merely the setting sun that signals rest. It is an invitation for the soul to release the heavy garments it has worn through hours of thought, effort, and concern. To carry the weight of the day into the night is to deny yourself the peace that is your divine right. In the stillness of evening, you are given a sacred opportunity to place every burden down, knowing they no longer serve you in this moment. The work is done, the decisions have been made, and the events that have unfolded now belong to the past. You are not bound to them, and they hold no power over the night that lies ahead. To release the day's burdens is to unshackle the mind from the endless cycle of replay and worry. It is to gently tell yourself, this day is complete, and I choose to let it be. You do not need to resolve every question before sleep. You do not need to solve every problem tonight. The greater intelligence that governs the stars and the tides is more than capable of working on your behalf while you rest. As you close your eyes, imagine placing every lingering thought, every concern, and every task into invisible hands that never falter, hands that hold all power to arrange, guide, and provide. Burdens are often nothing more than thoughts we have refused to set down. They live in the mind, looping and echoing, drawing our attention back to them again and again. But the truth is that nothing changes by holding them tightly. In fact, clinging to them keeps us in a state of tension and separation from the very answers we seek. By releasing them, we are not abandoning responsibility. We are simply surrendering them to a higher order that knows the perfect timing, the perfect path, and the perfect means of resolution. In this release, there is a deep, cleansing freedom. Imagine the body becoming lighter with each breath, as though the worries were tangible objects being lifted away. Feel the muscles loosen, the brow soften, and the heart uncoil from its guarded state. Let each exhale carry with it a thread of tension, until you are resting in a quiet space where nothing is demanded of you. In this place, you are not striving, not planning, not fixing. You are simply being, and that is enough. Releasing the day's burdens is an act of faith, a silent declaration that you trust life to move in your favor without your constant interference. It is a recognition that you are part of a greater harmony, and that harmony does not falter when you step back to rest. This trust opens the way for unseen forces to work, for answers to rise from the still waters of the subconscious, and for solutions to emerge effortlessly in the waking hours. When the mind is quiet, the heart can hear. When the hands are open, blessings can be placed within them. To release is to make room, to clear a space for something better to arrive. And as you let go of the day, you prepare yourself not only for restful sleep, but for the abundance, clarity, and ease that await you with the coming dawn. For tonight, it is enough to know that you have done what you could. Now you lay down every burden, not in defeat, but in confidence that you are supported, guided, and supplied beyond measure. To align with abundance is to come into harmony with the truth that supply is infinite and ever present, waiting only for your recognition of it. It is not about reaching outward in desperate grasping, but about turning inward to remember that the stream of prosperity has always been flowing through you. You are not separate from the riches of life. You are an expression of the same intelligence that paints the sunsets, shapes the mountains, and fills the oceans. This same intelligence knows no limitation, and when you attune yourself to it, you begin to live in a way where wealth of every kind becomes natural, effortless, and constant. Abundance begins as a state of mind long before it shows itself in the material. The outer world mirrors the images held in the inner world, and so the work of aligning with abundance is first and foremost the work of cultivating thoughts, feelings, and expectations that match the life you desire. If you see yourself as lacking, life will agree with you. If you see yourself as supplied, life will meet you there. Every thought is a seed, and the soil of the universe is impartial. It grows whatever is planted with care and repetition. To align is to choose your inner conversation with intention. It is to speak to yourself not as one who is begging for scraps, but as one who already sits at the table of plenty. Your words carry a vibration, and that vibration calls forth experiences that match it. This is why affirmations are so powerful when they are felt deeply. They become a signal to the unseen forces that shape your life, declaring that you are ready to receive. But alignment goes beyond words. It is a feeling, a quiet certainty, a knowing that you are already within the circle of supply. Gratitude is one of the purest forms of alignment. When you give thanks for what you have now and for what is on its way, you place yourself in the frequency of receiving. Gratitude shifts the focus from absence to presence, from what is missing to what is already flowing. And in that shift, doors open, opportunities reveal themselves, and resources find their way to you. This is not magic, it is law. Energy responds to energy. What you dwell upon expands. Aligning with abundance also means releasing the beliefs that conflict with it. Thoughts of unworthiness, fear of loss, resentment toward others' success, these are shadows that dim your light. They are not truths. They are illusions learned over time, and they can be unlearned. Replace them with the awareness that your good is not stolen from another, and another's good is not taken from you. The source is limitless, and there is enough for all. In this understanding, envy melts into inspiration, and competition transforms into cooperation. The more you practice living in the awareness of abundance, the more natural it becomes. It is like tuning an instrument. The more often you bring yourself into harmony, the clearer and more beautiful the song of your life will be. Eventually, it ceases to feel like practice and becomes your natural state. You walk with a quiet confidence, knowing that life will always meet your needs, that supply will always match demand, and that what you require will always arrive at the right time, in the right way. This alignment is not a forced effort, but a relaxed trust. It is not chasing after abundance, but resting in the certainty that you are already connected to it. From this place, actions flow with ease, ideas come with clarity, and wealth manifests without strain. To align with abundance is to remember that you are already part of the infinite, and the infinite never runs dry. Holding a clear inner picture is the art of impressing your mind with a vision so vivid, so real, that it becomes a blueprint for your outer life. The mind is a fertile field, and the images you plant within it are seeds. If they are scattered, blurred, or shifting, they will yield little. But when the image is clear, consistent, and fed with feeling, it begins to take root in the unseen and grow toward you in the seen. Life cannot help but shape itself around the dominant pictures you carry inside. This is why clarity is so powerful. The universe responds not to confusion, but to conviction. When you know exactly what you desire, and you hold that image with unwavering focus, you send out a signal that is strong, steady, and unmistakable. Just as a sculptor envisions the finished form before touching the clay, you must first see the wealth, the freedom, the ease as already yours. Feel the details, how it looks, how it sounds, how it feels to live in that reality. The more real it becomes within, the sooner it will appear without. The clear inner picture is not daydreaming without purpose, it is intentional creation. Each time you bring the image to mind, you are giving it energy, shaping its form, and aligning yourself with the vibration of its fulfillment. This is why it must be a picture of what you truly desire, not one influenced by fear or comparison. If your vision is mixed with doubt, you weaken its force. If it is clouded by conflicting desires, you send out a scattered signal, and the results will be just as scattered. When you hold this picture, hold it as if it is already complete. Do not place it far into the future or treat it as a wish that may or may not happen. See yourself in possession of it now. Walk through the rooms of your dream home in your mind. Feel the texture of the life you desire as though it is tangible in this very moment. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. It simply accepts the picture you feed it and begins arranging circumstances to match. This process requires consistency. A clear inner picture must be revisited daily, often in quiet moments when your mind is most receptive upon waking, before sleep, and in moments of stillness. The more frequently and faithfully you return to it, the more deeply it becomes imprinted upon your subconscious. Like a photograph in a darkroom, the image develops slowly at first, and then, all at once, it comes into sharp focus. Guard your inner picture from distortion. Negative thoughts, fears, and the opinions of others can blur your vision if you allow them to take root. When doubt tries to creep in, return immediately to your image. Strengthen it with gratitude, affirmations, and the certainty that what you seek is seeking you. This is not stubbornness, it is loyalty to your vision. In time, the clear inner picture becomes more than a vision. It becomes an inner reality so strong that the outer world must conform to it. The circumstances of your life rearrange themselves to match the image you have held so faithfully. Opportunities appear, doors open, and resources flow because you have become the living embodiment of your desire. By holding a clear inner picture, you claim your place as the architect of your life, shaping it from the inside out until the world you imagined becomes the world you inhabit. Letting sleep activate the law is the art of releasing your desires into the care of the subconscious mind, knowing it will work tirelessly on your behalf while you rest. When the conscious mind surrenders in slumber, the gates to the deeper mind open wide, allowing your thoughts, beliefs, and images to sink into the fertile soil where creation begins. This is why what you dwell upon before sleep is so important. It becomes the raw material from which your subconscious shapes your reality. In sleep, the mind does not argue, analyze, or resist. It simply accepts, and what it accepts, it reproduces. As you drift toward rest, you have the power to choose what seed you will plant. You can fill your mind with worry and fear, and the law will work faithfully to bring more of the same. Or you can fill it with visions of abundance, gratitude, and certainty, and the law will move heaven and earth to bring them forth. The law itself is impersonal. It responds only to the images and emotions impressed upon it. Like the soil in a garden, it does not decide what to grow. It simply nurtures what is sown. To allow sleep to activate the law, you must first release all sense of strain. Creation in the unseen does not come from tension, but from trust. As you prepare for rest, you quiet the mind, loosen the grip of the day's concerns, and turn your focus to the reality you desire as though it is already here. You are not asking with uncertainty, you are affirming with assurance. You are not pleading for something to happen. You are declaring that it is already so in the invisible, and therefore it must appear in the visible. The moments before sleep are precious. In this gentle twilight between waking and dreaming, the conscious mind is relaxed and suggestible, and the subconscious is listening intently. Here is where you paint your picture with words and feelings rich, vivid, and complete. You imagine yourself already living the life you choose. You feel the relief, the joy, the gratitude of its fulfillment. You sink into the sensation that it is done. Then you let go and allow sleep to carry it deeper, beyond effort, beyond thought, into the silent workshop of the mind. During the night, the law goes to work without pause. It weaves together the unseen threads of opportunity, moves people into position, aligns events in your favor, and brings into your awareness ideas and insights that lead you to your good. It does not matter whether you are aware of this process, it continues faithfully, as surely as the earth turns beneath the stars. By the time you awaken, the unseen has already been set in motion, and you begin to see signs and openings that confirm your desire is on its way. The beauty of this practice is that it removes the need for constant mental effort. You do not need to force the law into action. It is always in action. Your only task is to feed it with the right impressions and then rest, knowing the outcome is secure. In this way, sleep becomes more than a time of rest. It becomes a sacred period of creation, a silent partnership with the infinite intelligence that governs all life. When you wake, you do so with a lightness of heart, confident that something good has already begun to move toward you. And so, night after night, you plant, you trust, and you let sleep activate the law that never fails. To affirm unity with supply is to recognize and declare that you are not separate from the source of all abundance, but one with it. Supply is not something distant, hidden, or withheld from you. It flows through you as naturally as breath, because you are a living expression of the infinite. When you affirm this truth, you dissolve the illusion of lack. You step into the knowing that every need is already met in the unseen and is moving toward you in perfect form and timing. This unity is not something you must earn. It is your birthright. Just as a branch is part of the tree and receives its nourishment from the same root, you are connected to the boundless storehouse of the universe. There is no place where the source ends and you begin. You are an extension of its life, its intelligence, its creative power. When you truly feel this, fear fades, for how can you fear lack when you are one with the very fountain from which all riches flow? Affirming unity with supply is not merely repeating words. It is allowing those words to sink into your heart until they become a living conviction. It is saying, I am abundance, I am provided for, I am supported in all things, and feeling the truth of it resonate through your being. These affirmations are not meant to convince some outside force to give to you. They are reminders to yourself of what has always been true. In speaking them, you are tuning your mind to the frequency of receiving, clearing away the static of doubt, and aligning with the steady hum of infinite provision. The mind often tries to convince you that supply is limited, that it depends on circumstances, or that it can be taken away. These are shadows born of fear, not truth. The source of your supply is limitless and cannot be exhausted, for it is not dependent on one channel or one person. If a door closes, another will open. If one stream dries, another will spring forth. When you know you are one with the source, you do not cling desperately to a single channel, because you trust that your good will find its way to you in countless forms. To affirm unity with supply is also to honor the flow of giving and receiving. Just as the ocean moves in tides, abundance moves in cycles. You receive freely, and you give freely, knowing that the more you allow the flow to move through you, the more it returns to you multiplied. This giving is not forced, not done in fear of loss, but in joy, knowing that your source cannot run dry. In moments of uncertainty, return to your affirmation of unity. Speak it until the words no longer feel like an effort, but a natural expression of your being. Let them become a steady rhythm in your mind. I am one with infinite supply. All that I require is already mine. I rest in the certainty of provision. Over time, this affirmation reshapes your thoughts, your expectations, and your experience. You begin to walk through life with a quiet assurance, knowing that no matter what appears in the outer world, the inner truth remains unchanged. You are inseparable from the source, and the source is inexhaustible. When this truth is fully accepted, worry loses its grip. There is no more striving, no more chasing, no more pleading for what is already yours. You live from a place of calm expectancy, trusting that every need is met, every desire is answered, and every step is guided. In this unity, there is peace. In this unity, there is freedom. And in this unity, supply flows without limit, because you are the very channel through which it expresses. To trust the process is to release the need to control every detail of how your desires will manifest, and instead rest in the certainty that they are unfolding exactly as they should. It is an act of surrender, not in weakness, but in strength, for it takes true confidence to allow life to work without constant interference. The moment you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up each day to see if it is growing. You trust that, hidden from sight, it is doing exactly what it was designed to do. In the same way, when you set your intention and align with it in thought and feeling, you allow the unseen forces of creation to work quietly on your behalf. Trusting the process means accepting that you may not see immediate results, yet understanding that unseen progress is still being made. The universe does not work on the schedule of your impatience. It works on the schedule of divine timing. Every step, even the ones that feel like delays, is moving you toward your desired outcome. When you force, push, and demand results before their season, you create resistance. When you trust, you create space for the outcome to arrive in its fullest, most perfect form. This trust is built on the recognition that there is a greater intelligence guiding the unfolding of your life, an intelligence that sees farther, knows more, and orchestrates events in ways your conscious mind could never fully plan. Often, the very thing you think is a setback is actually a redirection, positioning you for something far better than you imagined. But to see this clearly, you must loosen your grip on the how, and focus instead on holding the vision of what. To live in trust is to allow each moment to be enough. You no longer chase after the future with restless anxiety, nor do you dwell in the past with regret. You inhabit the present with confidence, knowing that it contains the seeds of all that is to come. The energy you carry now is the energy shaping what is next. Fear, doubt, and impatience signal the law to bring more experiences that match them. Faith, calm, and gratitude signal the law to bring abundance, clarity, and ease. When you trust the process, you shift from demanding instant results to appreciating the unfolding. You begin to see signs, small confirmations that your intention is on its way. A conversation opens a door, an idea sparks at the perfect moment, or an unexpected opportunity crosses your path. These are not coincidences, they are evidence that the process is working. The more you acknowledge these signs, the more you reinforce your trust, and the faster the process moves. Trust is not passive. It is an active choice to stay aligned with your vision and your feelings of fulfillment, even when the outer world has not yet caught up. It is a choice to respond to challenges with composure rather than panic, to believe in the unseen currents carrying you forward. You keep your inner picture intact, you speak words of certainty, and you allow life to reveal the path one step at a time. In this way, trusting the process becomes a way of living. You walk through life without the tightness of fear or the constant strain of control. You live with a lightness, knowing that all is unfolding for your good. And because you are not resisting, life flows more freely, delivering to you not just what you asked for, but often something even greater. For when you trust the process, you open yourself to the limitless wisdom of the universe, and that wisdom never fails to lead you exactly where you are meant to be. And now, as you drift deeper into the quiet embrace of sleep, know that the seeds you have planted tonight are already taking root in the unseen. The law is at work, shaping, arranging, and preparing your good in ways beyond your imagining. You need do nothing more but rest in the certainty that you are one with infinite supply, and what is yours is already making its way to you. Breathe in peace, exhale every trace of doubt. You are safe, you are guided, you are provided for. Wealth is not a distant hope. It is your present truth, flowing toward you as naturally as the morning sun returns after night. Sleep now in the assurance that all is well, that the universe delights in your abundance, and that every breath you take draws you closer to the life you have envisioned. You are already there in spirit, and soon you will walk in it fully. Rest, trust, and let the night carry you into a new dawn of prosperity.